How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining me on my small engine repair channel. Today's project is on this Lawnboy push mower with a Kohler 149cc engine on it, and the problem it has is the self-propel won't work. So let's take a look at a few reasons why it might not be working, see if we can't get this one fixed up. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and so yeah, we're going to look at a self-propel system on this Lawnboy. Even if you don't have a Lawnboy mower, this video probably is going to have some good tips for you as far as trying to troubleshoot and maybe even fix up your self-propel system on your mower. So when I get one that doesn't work, the first thing I'm going to look at is check the cable. Okay, so I'm going to be checking some of the simple stuff first. And the cable is attached to this handle up and underneath here, and there is plenty of tension on there. When I got the mower, it did have very little tension on here, so I thought that was the problem. And as you can see, I marked this cable and tried to put some more tension on it, but even that didn't fix the problem. So if your cable is broken or the tension is very minimal, you might be able to just undo the cable attachment point here, and if you try and pull the whole sheathing down away from the handle, that should put more tension on the actual cable itself, and therefore should then pull the mechanism that's attached to it on the underside of the deck right here. It should pull that a little bit tighter, pull it back, put more tension on the belt that goes around the crankshaft and around the mechanism here, transmission basically, of this little mower. So check the cable first, make sure it's not broken, make sure it's not too loose. Okay, so that's an easy thing to check. Second thing we're going to check is the actual belt itself. I've had quite a few different issues with the belts. Over time, these belts will potentially break, they'll potentially stretch, and sometimes just adjusting that cable that we just talked about will actually increase the tension on this belt. The other thing I've had issues with on mowers before is that people don't clean the underside of these things, and a lot of times there'll be so much buildup of grass in here that this could cause the belt to kind of slip, potentially, if there's not a keeper on it. This slipped right off that pulley here on the bottom of the crankshaft. That's part of the blade adapter, and the belt was just hanging up here off that pulley. So of course, when you engage the mechanism here, that is not gonna work for you. All right, so up and underneath the machine here, I just wanted to show you the mechanism that that cable I was telling you comes down through the top of the deck, and it actually is attached to this spring right here. And that spring, when you pull the cable, is going to pull up on this whole mechanism right here, and it should engage this belt down here. You can see this belt is very loose at this point. When I engage that handle, this belt should actually become very tight and taut on this particular model. So I'm going to try and engage this, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. You can see that mechanism is moving, and it is putting some tension on this particular belt. So very little tension, it's putting tension. So that part is all working the way it's supposed to be working. The belt itself doesn't look like it's in great shape. But we're gonna clean this up and then get a little closer look at this belt eventually here. If the belt is broken, obviously this isn't gonna work. And to replace the belt, what you would have to do is get the belt off the pulley on this side right here, that silver pulley back there, and then take the blade adapter off and the blade off, and you probably will have to take off this guard. Okay, there's usually 2 1/2-inch bolts. Here they are right here. There's one here and there's one over here up top. So you take that off and then you can slide your belt off of this pulley and then just replace the belt in the opposite fashion there. So this belt itself doesn't look like it's spinning here. I wonder, because there's so much junk underneath this, I wonder if the belt just can't turn, or this pulley up here is kind of seized up a little bit or something. And so we're gonna check that eventually here. So we've looked at the cable, we've looked at the belt up on the underside as well. Another thing it could be are the actual wheels. So these wheels actually, I think the wheels actually might be an issue here. Normally the wheel doesn't spin like this, so I'm gonna take this wheel off and get a better look at it and see what's going on with this drive wheel. Alright, so here's the drive wheel. Sometimes you've got a metal cog or gear here that on this particular type of wheel is not really interchangeable. It's not bolted in, so you really, if this wears down, then you're gonna have to replace it. That usually meshes with a gear on the axle, and for some reason or another somebody took this gear off this axle and made it a non-self-propelled machine. So I've done this in the past as well with machines that are not worth fixing. So I'm wondering then if there is something going on up and underneath here in the transmission area that has prevented this machine from working in the past, and somebody has just turned it into a non-self-propel machine. There are some other type of wheels for self-propel system that have plastic gearing all the way around the outside diameter of the wheel that also meshes with a smaller gear here, and those ones I've seen where the gears are just, because they're plastic, they're just worn away. So that could be another reason why your self-propel is not working. Alright, so I have you up on the lawnmower lift here. I just wanted to get these the other back wheel off the ground as well. And as you can see, this was on here like this. This is also missing any sort of gearing. The wheel itself is perfectly fine. It's just missing the 2 gears. And honestly, I don't think I have a set of those gears for this type of machine. So I think unfortunately we're just going to end up keeping this as a non-self-propelled mower. And although it was pretty difficult to push because I did use it, the engine works good, just the self-propel I can't get to work. So I'm gonna see price out maybe a couple of these gears and see if there's any other parts that I'm missing. There's obviously going to be some sort of an E-clip on here as well to keep this gear on. So there's a plastic washer on this side. This side has no plastic washer, and in fact it doesn't even come out as far as the other one. So it's going to need a little bit more investigative work to see if it's even worth putting in the effort to get this thing, because I don't even know if the transmission part even is working. So this is probably going to end up just being a non-self-propelled mower. I'll probably just take out this cable and this handle. up top here, because those are reusable and the cable is in good condition. So I could keep that for another machine, and then make sure these wheels are nice and lubricated so that they spin nice and free, and it'll just be a non-self-propelled machine. So anyways guys, hopefully this video is a little bit informative. Although we weren't able to fix it, we did kind of look at some of the major trouble spots on a self-propelled mower, and it's pretty much similar on most machines. So your big ones are the cable, the belt underneath, and the wheels themselves. So hopefully you like it, and if you did, go ahead and smash the like button down below. If you're not a subscriber, consider doing so. It really helps me out on the channel, keeps me motivated to make more videos for all you guys out there. So keep showing me a little bit of love, and keep me motivated. So till our next project, take care.